So he posted a meme a few days ago, and then he came out. Apparently, it was a meme having a laugh with transgender people. Right? Can someone do me a favor? And this is what Callum says to me, and everyone says, "Oh, you're a boomer. You're a boomer." I don't get that meme. I don't understand what I'm looking at. What is number one? What is funny? Number two, what is offensive? Because I don't get it. But when you're transgender, hold on, let me explain for the audios. There's a woman there, she's having a scan, right? When you're transgender and you think you're pregnant and they're looking at the screen and what is that? Is that a blob of shit or is that like a nut? What is it?
It's shit. She's got shit in her stomach and she thinks she's pregnant. But she's not. She just has to take a shit.
She's constipated.
She's constipated. Right. She's like,
all right.
It's funny. It's stupid. It's just a dumb.
Yeah.
It made me chuckle.
Dumb. Yeah, well, yeah, it could happen with a woman when you're pregnant, whatever. So he posted that, and then I saw him coming out because he posted on his social media, on Instagram and whatnot. The Liverpool Echo, which is the local newspaper in Liverpool, they never supported him throughout all of his fights. Which is so typical, by the way. I'm sure they did. I'm sure maybe they reported, but they never got behind him to how we would have liked. And I had the similar thing with my local newspaper, actually. But whatever, that's another story. But yeah, he's fought all over the world, and they haven't supported him that much. But then all of a sudden, when there's some way they can criticize him or slag him off, they're calling him up, wanting to talk to him about this anti-transgender meme. As I say, so that's how he posted about it, and he talked about it in the video. That's how I found out about all this stuff. And I didn't even realize what the meme was. But then apparently now someone's gone to the police as well. Apparently there's a police investigation, and Darren's been talking about it. Then he came out and said, you can't cancel someone that doesn't give a fuck. Yeah, what a crazy situation.
What's the police investigation for? I don't understand that.
Well, I don't think there's going to be a police investigation at all. Do you know what I mean? Because there's no crime. He hasn't done anything wrong. Yes, Brian?
I'm just saying, this is one reason why America's way better than England. We have free speech in America. There are no investigations over tweets.
Well, first of all, I don't think that statement is accurate for a number of reasons. But we, of course, have freedom of speech in the UK. What are you talking about? How much fucking propaganda has been brain-fed and spoon-fed to you since you were a child? Listen, we have freedom of speech. Nothing's going to happen. I don't know. I don't want to get into the whole transgender thing because I understand some people are sensitive to that, and I understand that. Darren's not a bad guy. Darren's just having a laugh. He saw something, he thought it was funny, and he posted it. So people
it's not a transgender thing. It's almost like a human thing where you go, well, we're all humans. There's a funny meme about something. It's not saying that transgendered people aren't human beings. It's not saying that they should be treated anything less than human. It's not saying that they're not real or legitimate. It's just making fun of sort of a physiological element and a very realistic element to them, which is they can't actually get pregnant. So are they off limits?
No.
But hold on. But are transgender people off limits in terms of making jokes, or are they in on the joke? Can we make fun of them? Can they be a part of that? Because in my experience as a comedian, an offensive comedian, mind you, you're getting everybody to be in on the joke by making fun of everybody. We make fun of ourselves. We make fun of every sort of race, every color, every creed, every sexuality, and we're all sort of on the same level because the idea is that in comedy, no one's really safe. That's sort of the great equalizer, is that everybody can be made fun of, and that is true equality. That's equality. If you take that away from certain people, you're saying that they're not equal.
That's an interesting point, and I don't have the knowledge on the transgender environment to come back with anything. But that's a solid point, what you say. You know what I mean? To a certain degree. But I think what their point is, I say their point. They're fucking like there's a team, there's an organization.
They want to be called they. They literally want to be called they.
Oh, really? Okay. Fuck, I'm a genius, man. But no. I think maybe because there's a lot of suicide amongst transgender teens, and maybe in their opinion, the people that have complained, when I say they, that's what I'm talking about. The people that have complained feel that it's making light, that it's making fun. And of course, that's not Darren's perspective. Darren's just seen something, he thought it was funny, and he posted it. Okay. Darren's not, to my knowledge anyway, is not a homophobic person. I don't think he's a transphobic person. He takes the piss out of everyone. To your point, Lewis, Darren's a very silly guy. Darren's got a great sense of humor. He's fucking hilarious. And yeah, okay, he's definitely on the Legion of Skank side of things. He's offensive. You know what I mean? He is. And people love him for it. You know, I honestly don't think he meant any offense. And I'm sure if he thought that someone, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't even speak for Darren because maybe I'm wrong. But the guy that I know that I've got to know pretty well, because we talk on the phone here and there now as well. And the guy that I've got to know, I think, isn't purposely trying to make people feel bad. He's trying to have a laugh and then make other people feel amused. Maybe it is at someone else's expense, but a lot of the time it's at my expense. He went on a fucking tirade of abuse on Twitter last week, making fun of my eye. Do you know what I mean? He takes the piss out of everyone. So I hear your point, and it's actually an interesting point that you raised.
Yeah, I mean, look, offensive comedy is sort of the business that I'm in, right? And look, Darren's not a comedian, so there's an argument there. There's another side of it, which is Darren has a boss. You know, we have this conversation. We don't have the conversation, but we.
Can I say something?
Of course.
You said Darren has a boss. He actually tweeted the shot or Instagrammed. You can't cancel someone that doesn't give a shit. When I looked at it on Instagram, no, it was liked by Dana White.
Oh, nice. Well, good.
It just liked by Dana White.
Luckily, Dana White and company, they seem to be on the side of freedom of speech, and they really are about protecting the fighters. And you got to really fuck up. You got to be an asshole to sort of fuck things up with the UFC. But the reality is, it is a company that is owned. The parent company for the UFC is a massive, massive company. The partnership with ESPN is owned by Disney. These are massive corporations. You know, it's something that, you know, you and I both have to, it's a different thing. When I'm on this show, I have a different, you know, the jokes I make on this show are much different than I make on a show like Legion of Skanks for that exact reason. You know, we have to, you know, I sort of have respect for that. You have a different thing and you're in like the real industry. I've sort of created my own little fake industry that I'm in. Like, I don't really care about TV or any of that stuff, right? But Darren, there's something to be said there where he does have to toe the line to a certain degree. If you want to be a world famous fighter and a world class UFC fighter and become a champion one day and become a household name, you have to play by certain rules. So one day he's going to have to sort of decide, does he want to be funny on Twitter or does he want to be a UFC world champion? Yeah,
well, it's not just that either. Because, of course, I'm not talking about Darren now. I'm not talking about Darren. I'm talking about a hypothetical situation. Because in fight sports, for the most part, your fighting should do the talking. So with him becoming a world champion, it doesn't matter what he tweets, whether they're offensive or not. Even if it is offensive or deemed offensive, or in someone's opinion it's offensive. If you can't win the fights, you can't win the fights. Doesn't matter how good your fucking Twitter handle is. You know what I mean? That's first and foremost. But secondly, then, with something like this, the UFC are very sensitive to your point. They are. When I said, Dana White like that doesn't mean he's fucking all in on offending transgender people. No, it's the exact opposite. They are very LGBTQ aware, and they support those matters very, very much so. Do you know what I mean? I think when it was Pride Month, all the ladies that you know, they came out, there was rainbows all over the place. You know what I mean? I'm not picking the right words, but
I mean, look, you know, the UFC's, they're playing whatever game everyone else is playing.
I know they're not. No, they're not.
I know, dude. AT&T fucking loves Pride.
No,
I know, dude.
No, it's true, though. You know, there's so many gay fighters. Well, in the women, I don't know about the men, but they don't give a fuck.
Can I say, it's almost in my mind.
Fans, whatever, it doesn't matter. They just want to put on good fights. And if someone's got a sense of humor and they're being a laugh, you know, then maybe that's one thing. If someone's being a dick and they're trying to be offensive, it's something very, very different. If you're actually homophobic and you're out there and you're talking shit, then you should be cancelled. You should be fired, and you know what I mean. Of course, there's freedom of speech, but what I'm saying is the UFC. If you're out there and you're going so homophobic or whatever, then they're like, we can't allow you to represent our company.
Maybe it's just because, like, in my mind, it is such a foregone conclusion that gay people are equal and have equal rights and should have equal rights. Like, it doesn't need to be it doesn't need to be overstated. I don't need to wear a fucking rainbow flag on my shirt. I don't need to go like. I just feel like and I'm not saying the UFC in general. Every company during Pride Month, they fucking change their logo.
But you can't take away from the goodness of that. Do you know?
It's marketing. It's fucking. All it is.
All right. But still, see your point. What you said before. You tread the line on this because I've worked for the UFC. I do work for the UFC. You know, but just because someone does, they don't have to do that, and you don't necessarily get criticized before doing it. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, we're going off the topic here. We're going off the tangent. We're talking about Darren Till. So it's mental. So there was a police investigation, which is nuts. You know what I mean? But then I looked at his Instagram. I think it was the day after, and it had gone. It had gone, and I thought, "Fuck!" He has literally been cancelled.
He's in jail.
I don't know what it was, in cyber jail or internet jail or fucking something. Yeah, because he was gone. But I called him up and said, "Darren, what's happening?" He said, "Nah." So I've just taken a break. So I think he was getting a fair bit of abuse. So maybe we'll get him on the show. He can tell us about it. But
Look,
I'm sure. All I wanted to say is the Darren that I know, he's not trying to cause any offense. He's a young guy. He was having a laugh, and he's not a bad guy. He's not a bad person. He's a good guy. He has a good sense of humor. Maybe got a bit carried away. But anyone that's fucking going on there and talking shit, just steady on. Come on, he was having a laugh.